Hi, everybody. It's Vicki Hinze. I'm suffering from eye strain right now, like most of us do in this business. And rather than not blog, I thought I'd do a little video blog. Today, I wanted to talk about when you're a writer and you feel knocked down. Very often, when you get a rejection letter or some critic or a bad review comes out or something like that, which happens to all of us all the time, uh, writers take it personally and they take it in deep, and it can be devastating, it can be debilitating, and that's not a good thing. So we need to learn to put those things in perspective. We need to understand that no matter how good you are and how great your work is, you're going to have critics. And the better you are, and the higher up the proverbial ladder you get, the more critics you're going to have. It's just the way of things. What you have to do is to weight those criticisms. Some of them have value, and some of them provide us wonderful insights and give us pointers on where we need to focus our attention, how we can improve. Some of them are not constructive at all, and those we need to learn to let go. When I was a young girl, my dad told me a saying that he had read somewhere. He had a photographic memory, so it's kind of hard to remember, for me to remember where he heard all these things, although I'm sure he told me at the time. But it was a saying, and it went something like, "What you think of me is none of my business." Well, when you hear that the first time, you think that's got a little bit of an arrogant flavor to it. And then when you really think about it, you see it. What other people think about you or about your work has nothing to do with your purpose in your work. Your purpose in your work is what matters. Why you're doing what you're doing, why you're choosing to spend your life this way, what you hope to accomplish with your work. Those are the important things that matter. And no critic, no matter how well intentioned or how ill intentioned, can see clearly the 360-degree vision that you have for your work or your future. They don't know your purpose, they only know what they have intuited or been told. Kind of like a point of view character. When we have to see everything through the prism of the point of view character in our stories, well, in our careers, we have to see everything through the prism of our purpose, what we want to do and to accomplish, and how we intend to do it. So, even the best criticism is limited in what it can do for us. If it assists us or aids us or is in any way constructive in helping us achieve our purpose or to get further along on the journey for our purpose, then it's a good thing. If it is something that makes us feel really badly about the work, about what we're doing, makes us question and second guess ourselves down, not just the work, but question ourselves down to our core, to the human being inside the writer, then that's not constructive. That's destructive. And we need to give it that weight that it is destructive and not let it take over us. We're always going to have critics. Always. It's up to us to determine what the value is of the criticism. If it is valuable, take the good from it, for goodness sake. Take what's good and use it to make yourself and your work better. But what isn't good for you? You know, you feel it inside. You get the bubbles in your gut, or that sense of resonance that this is good, this is right, this is truth. Trust your instincts on it, and don't give negativity or depression a foothold, because if you do, it will take over. In that Pretty Woman movie, Remember the scene where Julia Roberts says where Richard Gere tells Julia Roberts' character, "I think you have a lot of special gifts," and she responds to him, "The bad stuff's easier to believe." Well, if you hear it often enough, it is. The bad stuff is easier to believe. And because as writers so much of what we do comes from creative depths inside us that you can't really pinpoint a place where they start or stop. They're so interwoven with us as human beings. We fall victim to that far too often. Meaning, what I mean is that we take a criticism of the work and consider it a criticism of us because we're so wound up in the work, but it's really not. Um, uh, it's just not. And so we need to be more selective about what we take in and how deeply we take it in and how much we permit it to mean to us. If you get a bad review and it bothers you, don't read the reviews. I don't often advocate playing ostrich on anything, as anyone who reads my blogs or my Twitter posts can attest. I have a little bit of an opinion on almost everything. However, if something truly is destructive to you, it's up to you to have the wisdom and insight to turn away from it. And so that's the part that I'm trying to emphasize here. If it's good and it can help you accomplish what you know is your purpose, then use it. If it is not constructive, walk away from it. You don't have to defend it. That's another thing. A lot of writers feel like, oh, if somebody gets something wrong on a review or on a book cover or whatever, they have to stand up and they have to defend themselves and their work. You don't. Let the work speak for itself, and then you get busy writing the next project. The second thing is, if you find that you're around people who are very critical of you all the time, it's real hard to be a creative genius under those circumstances. And so you're hindering your own progress. You need to surround yourself with people who are genuinely supportive. One piece of advice that I heard one time that I thought was pretty good. It was a woman talking about marriage. And she said that even if she couldn't support the plan, she supported the man, talking about her spouse. Well, if the people around you cannot support your writing, they should at least support you. If they're not supporting the writing or you, why are they around? Why are you surrounding yourself with an abundance of that type of people? Now, we all wear different hats, and I realize that. I'm talking about the relationships that writers form, typically with other writers. The other writers that you affiliate and associate with should be constructive, supportive individuals, not ones who are constantly critical of you and what you're trying to do. The next part of this, we're going to get a little deeper into this because it's something I see doing so much harm to so many writers, and it really concerns me. I've seen too many writers get very close to being suicidal over rejection letters. A rejection letter is worth 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes to emotionally react, and that's if it's a really good rejection letter. 5 minutes. Because rejection letters are, after all, saying, no, not now. They're actually this person, this singular individual, based on their subjective opinion, saying, no, thank you, not now. But I've had companies where I've been rejected on one day, and the very next day they've come back wanting something else. It happens. Lots of reasons. Many, many, many reasons. Many other reasons. And we'll do those under a separate video. For this, I want to close by telling you one thing that I want you to keep in mind. And if you have heard not another word, I hope that you'll hear this one. We all get knocked down. If you got knocked down, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it proves that you were standing up. And if you were standing up, you can stand up. You're capable. You have the ability. And that is a good thing. So remember that. If you get knocked down, it's not terminal. It just means, hey, I was standing. And if I did it once, I could do it again. And we'll pick up there tomorrow. Blessings.